All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Web Gems podcast. I'm here with the regular crew. I got Moore up top and Tangway down below. We got Martin Truex Jr. down there, actually. Look at
Yeah.
that. All right, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the AL East. We're going to preview the AL East because, we finally got a schedule. So now we can kind of look at what's going to happen here, at least what we think is going to happen. So, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're just going to go with how it ended last year. So first, we're going to talk about the New York Yankees, the evil empire.
Yeah,
I go to Moore first.
yeah. The Yankees on paper are very good this year. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. I think, can they keep their bullpen fresh? Can their starters go far into the game as to leave the relievers fresh? I think that's really the main thing with the Yankees. The order, they're going to score runs. It's about keeping runs off the board for the other team.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and especially Severino will be out this year, so it's kind of like you got to make sure Tanaka stays healthy, especially. You don't want that to go down and then have to rely on just Cole and like Paxton, and I know they got other guys, but you're gonna need those big time guys once you get to the playoffs and everything. But I do agree they'll be able to score runs. They just gotta make sure yes, keep the bullpen fresh, but also make sure that they keep the starting rotation somewhat healthy going into the playoffs. So, but I have them finishing first.
Yeah, I think the main thing here is just trying to keep the whole team healthy. Last year it was injury prone the whole year. We're hoping that Judge stays healthy this year. He gets a good like what I guess a 60-game season. What's a good amount of games? Like 45, something like that.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you would hope that. Another big one was Stanton. Stanton really needs a big year this year because his first year as a New York Yankee wasn't horrible, but he was just remembered as getting struck out like every 3 at bats. It was bad.
I just look at the Yankees roster, and I cannot see them not winning the East this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Unless the Orioles catch him.
Yeah, they are really good this year.
Yeah, with the starting rotation, I got to pull up the roster, but I know for sure Garrett Cole will be the opening day starter. And then after that, after that, Paxton, you have Tanaka. I know J.A. Happ is still here. He's probably going to get that spot. You hope Tanaka stays healthy. And then I think the last guy is going to be Jordan Montgomery. Yeah. That's what everybody predicts.
If Herman wasn't suspended, then
I know. If Herman wasn't suspended for being a dummy and Severino wasn't hurt, this team would win the World Series at day one. There's no way that doesn't. Because Severino, even when Severino came back last year, he still showed like really good pitching, which is really hard for coming off a big injury as he did. Now you have Cole, and if you had Severino, they would have won it already. But Garrett Cole, I think this is a really big year for him. I think he'll be good. I don't think it's going to be one of these flukes that you pay millions of dollars for and they suck, aka Chris Davis. But we'll get to him in a little bit. But I think Yankees should be able to finish first. There's no excuse.
No, there is no excuse if they don't finish.
Especially if you look at their schedule. They're playing the Orioles a bunch of times. They're playing the Marlins a bunch of times. Like, they should be able to beat Toronto. Boston, they're going to have problems with because they always do. And same thing with Tampa. So if you look at the other, like, Washington's going to be a little bit of a problem, but like Philadelphia, they should be able to beat Atlanta. They're going to have problems with. So they should, like, if you ask me, they should be like either first or second in the league in general. So that's the Yankees. Anything else on the Yankees?
No.
All right. So next we got the Tampa Bay Rays. Go to Tangway first.
Everyone's usually. It depends. Some people can be high on the Rays. Some people think, oh, they're going to be like a third place team or whatever. I'm particularly high on them this year, more than usual. Because if you look at the starting rotation, as long as they're healthy and everything, they have Snell, they got Morton, they got
They got Glass now too.
Yeah, Glass now. And then they also got Yanni Chirinos. And then they got Brandon McKay, who I think me and Moore remember him from college when he used to hit and pitch. I don't think he's going to be like Ohtani. He doesn't seem to hit that well at the major league level, but he's still a really good left-handed pitcher. So if I know they like using the opener thing, but I think honestly that's a good 5-man rotation to keep. The only question I have is the lineup. They always tend to get, more than expected out of a lot of guys, but they're losing Tommy Pham, who is a big bat in their lineup. But they get Jose Martinez, who's a good contact hitter, but he doesn't seem to hit more than like 15 home runs a year. So it's kind of like, where's the power going to come from? So I think a guy like Austin Meadows has to have like a big time year. I know it's just 60 games, but I think he really has to start off hot and continue the streak to be able to get them going offensively.
That's basically what I had. I literally wrote down expect a slow start with the offense.
Yeah.
And that's a question mark, but I think another question mark is going to have to be their bullpen. They're very young, but they're very deep. So.
I like Nick Anderson out of the bullpen. Nick Anderson, he was nasty last year.
And I think the Rays are very good at producing some pitchers.
Yeah, you look at their lineup, the best feature 100% is pitching. I'm looking at the roster right now, and I'm looking at the bats, and really the only guy I really like is Meadows.
Yeah. They're going to need to keep the team up.
There's really nothing else. Like, Kevin Kiermaier doesn't hit. He's more of a defensive guy. G-Man Choi is not really that good on offense either. Brandon Lowe, I guess he's decent. Daniel Roberts is decent. It's like they have a bunch of decent bats. I think, honestly, their only 330 hitter is going to be Austin Meadows. And after that, I think the most they're going to get is like a 380 hitter. So
the one thing I will say about the Rays, though, is they got like a good farm system. So in terms of like the future, they got like Franco, who's like one of the top prospects in baseball coming up at shortstop. So like
number one, I believe.
Yeah. In the future, he's going to be pretty good. They have a lot of infield like prospects that could be really good in the future. So like their top 3 prospects right now are all infielders.
A very, very young franchise. They're going
to be good. Like if they can get those guys up at some point, maybe next year, because 60 games, I don't think it's just not going to happen this year. But I think that next year, if they can get those guys up and going, like they're going to be insane.
Yeah, I don't think that offense is built for a 60-game sprint.
Yeah.
The pitching might be there, but the offense, I don't think.
That's 100 going to keep them in the game is their pitching.
Yeah.
They have to really bet on that. And, their coach, Kevin Cash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a very good job managing wins. Like, you go back to last year, you can think of a handful of games that they won just based off of good managing. The idea of the opener and like getting in pitchers right and stuff like that. They move around. Like I know that they move guys around to where they have pitchers in the outfield so they can bring them back in for the next batter and such like that. I remember they did that to the Red Sox last year one time. Like there was like this whole confusion and stuff like that. It took like 20 minutes to try and figure out what happened.
Yeah, no, it's going to change now with the 3-batter minimum, which I love, by the way.
Yeah. So
we'll see some differences with the open.
These guys, again, I think it stays as is. I think it's either they're going to finish second or third, but honestly, the next team, the Red Sox, probably have a good chance of finishing second because, as we said, the Rays are going to have a lot of troubles hitting. So, but we'll move on. We'll move next to the Boston Red Sox. Your guys' boys. How you guys feeling about them? Go to Nick first. Let's go to Moore first.
So I think the biggest question with the Red Sox is kind of a recurring theme is going to be the back of the starting rotation. Since we learned Sale is out for Tommy John, Eovaldi, Erod are going to be the headliners, and after that, I don't know. There's Martin Perez, there's Chris Webber, there's Maza. It's a nightmare. It really is. But
that's what we said in 2018 when the World Series was won, and then
they didn't change. And then they didn't change a thing besides signing Kimbrel, and you know what happened last year. So, but I do think the bullpen's going to rebound this year. I really like Josh Taylor and Darwinson. I think Darwinson is going to be the future of our bullpen, whether as a seventh inning Patanza style guy or a setup. Either way, I like him and Josh Taylor together. I think they're going to be a great duo. My last thing with the Red Sox is will Benintendi and JBJ hit consistently this year? I personally been very critical of Benintendi past few years, but it's his fourth year. He needs to produce now.
But Nick, everybody in Boston loves Benintendi.
I know they do. I don't.
I'm trying to get the emotion out of you right now. I want you to go off on one of your tangents.
You hit 266 on your third year.
Third year. The Orioles, I'm gonna go off on one.
Benintendi needs to hit, or I would not be surprised if friggin' Kevin Pillar comes in. Yeah. But the same goes for Verdugo. If Verdugo is
but Verdugo Verdugo has to be good because you traded Mookie Betts for him. So
yeah, but to be honest,
at the same time, the Mookie Betts trade was a good idea anyway. So
I think it's better for the farm system. I love Jeter Downs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have with the Red Sox right now.
What about you, Tangway?
I definitely agree with Nick on the rotation. It's kind of like Erod's going to be the one. He was very good last year, over 200 innings, over 200 strikeouts, and I'm pretty sure 18 or 19 wins, a very big season for him. And then you got Eovaldi. As long as he's healthy, he'll be good. But then, yeah, it's kind of like Martin Perez and then probably Colin McHugh. And I really hope they don't put out Ryan Weber because I'm just going to be straight up with everyone on Ryan Weber. He sucks. I hope he's watching this. He sucks, okay? He throws like a friggin' position. He throws like Mike Carp throwing a knuckleball, okay? I don't want friggin' Ryan Weber in one single game this year, okay? So the thing is about Darwinson, right? In the minors, he was brought up as a starting pitcher. We put him in the bullpen, has a bit of control issues. He's nasty, though. He's a lefty, throws, his release is a little bit different, but he can throw up to 98 miles an hour, strikes out everyone. Can he get that control, and do we keep him as a lights out, like late inning reliever, or do we move him to the starting rotation to try to give us another like electric arm over there? I don't know what we do as long as we do something good. That's all
I don't think moving him into a starter is a good idea. Daniel Bard. That's all I have to say.
But I do. It's kind of like tough. I don't know. But
I think we're about to blow Chapman with putting him into a starter as well. Yeah. They luckily caught that early.
But, I mean, the lineup, I'm not worried about the lineup as a whole at all. You bring back Bogarts and Devers. Last year, both had over 30 home runs, hit over 300, and had over 100 RBIs. Devers had over 200 hits.
Devers incredible.
Those guys are studs. There's no doubt about that. JD Martinez will have a great year because he's just going to hit. That's all we're going to have him for. Christian Vasquez is someone that's really had a breakout year last year. Hitting-wise, he's always been a great defensive catcher, but I think he had over 20 bombs last year. Mitch Moreland, I really like Mitch. I think he's extremely consistent. I know this isn't a regular season, so you can't really take a 60-game sample, but he's going to hit you 20-plus home runs, hit around 270, 265, and he's going to play great defense. That's kind of just what you want. And then, the bullpen, I have faith in the bullpen this year. Brandon Workman was unreal last year. Incredible. You got Matt Barnes, Heath Hembree, like Taylor and Darwinson, like Nick said. I think the bullpen will be good. It's just the back end of the starting rotation. I would say probably the 4 or 5 spot. That's what I'm worried about in the rotation. Other than that, the lineup, I have a lot of confidence in. It will be a top 3 lineup in the AL, no doubt about it.
I know Chris Maz is throwing a simulated game today, so we'll see what happens with that later today.
They also might call up, maybe not this year, but Tanner Houck. He could be someone that could either be a starter or reliever for them in the future. They drafted him in the first round a few years ago out of Missouri, I'm pretty sure. So.
All right. Next, we got the Toronto Blue Jays, the young guns themselves. Tangway first.
See, in a 60-game schedule, I think it could benefit them, depending on how they start. I still have the questions about the rotation. They got Hyunjin Ryu, who had a really good year last year, but at the end he was really falling off. He kind of lost himself to Cy Young at the end. But they also signed Tanner Roark, who is a good 4 or 5 starter, and then they got a Japanese pitcher. I'm blanking on the name. Even if I had the name,
Oh, it's
probably
Yamamoto.
Shun Yamaguchi.
yeah, Shun Yamaguchi. So they got him. Matt Shoemaker is just really not that good.
You mean, bro? Matt Shoemaker is fantastic. I mean,
Chase
quality
Anderson.
pitcher.
Yeah,
Why is he on
but
this team? Why is he still playing? He's got to be
honestly,
up there, no? Oh, he's 33 years old. Never mind.
but I will say,
I mean, last year Matt Shoemaker was 3-0 with a 1.57 ERA
yeah, but I think he only played April and then got hurt. So
in 28 innings pitched.
I will say,
Ryan Baruki has something. I know that. I just saw this here, but he's a young guy.
yeah,
He came
but
in for 6 innings last year. He didn't have so good of a time, but he could be something. He could be a starter.
yeah. I mean, honestly though, I think the rotation is going to be a real problem, especially if they were to lose like Ryu to an injury or something. The bullpen, I think, will also be kind of a problem. The only guy I know for sure is Ken Giles. Has been a lights out closer, but when you get to the lineup, this
This
is
is fun.
where,
This is where it gets fun.
yeah, this is where it gets fun. This is kind of where they're going to make up, their ground. I like Jansen as a catcher. I think he's solid. But then, I mean, you got Bichette, Biggio, Vlad Guerrero in the infield. I also like Rowdy Tellez. I think he can hit some bombs. And then you got Grichuk, who's pretty good. You got Gurriel. Teoscar Hernandez actually has been pretty good. Last year at 26 home runs, 230 average, though. They're probably going to strike out a lot, especially being a young team. So I feel like with the Blue Jays, it's kind of like I feel like they're gonna finish 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of the Rays.
Yeah,
That their pitch, but it's like a complete opposite though.
Yeah.
So the Rays have the pitching, but the Blue Jays have the hitting. So I think that if in a 60-game season, I think it really comes down to if the Red Sox. So the Yankees are going to have a good year. That's for sure a thing. If the Red Sox don't have a good year, it's going to come down to either the Blue Jays or the Rays having a good year.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all. Trying to rebuild the wheel.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So with the Blue Jays, they got some great power at the plate this year. And I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but to be honest with you, I don't think anyone hits over 280.
Yeah,
Like
to be
we
honest.
said, they strike out a lot.
Unless it's Vlad. Vlad could do it.
I don't know.
I
I
think
really don't know if anyone's gonna hit it. I know batting average is gonna be a weird stat to cover this year, but to be honest with you, I don't know. I think if anyone does, I think it's Vlad and maybe Bichette. But
yeah, Bichette's nasty.
I don't think. If you ask me, I don't think the hitting is going to be the problem. I think it's going to be the team ERA that's going to be the thing.
But I think the strikeouts hitting wise is going to be an issue.
Yeah, and the strikeouts. So.
And with big power comes lower batting average.
Yeah, just ask Chris Davis of the Orioles there.
Yeah, that's Bryce Harper too.
That's Chris Davis of the Orioles, man. I mean, he hasn't done anything. He can't hit in general. Never mind power.
He doesn't even have a batting average. He can't even hit a deep ball. Just wait until we get to the Orioles. I'm gonna go to Moore first.
Oh no, we're going to the Orioles right now. We're going to the Orioles right now.
All right, go to Moore first, and then come to me for after. I'll freaking get the big room.
All right, so the 2020 Baltimore Orioles
will not win a single game this year.
Nothing to talk about. Tangway.
All right, so
they suck. The capital S. They suck. Tangway.
Capital S-U-C-N-K. All capital.
They blow.
They suck and they blow. Listen,
Terrible.
I want to tell you something about these Orioles right now, okay? Well, first, we're going to start off with the draft, okay? You got back-to-back years, you got a top 2 pick, right? You think, oh, Orioles, they can't pitch to save their lives. Let's take a pitcher. No, they take a friggin' catcher and an outfielder. Okay, so what? You're gonna hit and then not pitch for their best pitcher, arguably on their whole entire team, starting wise, is Alex Cobb. If this was 2012, that would be great. Alex Cobb, woo woo woo. He's like 39 friggin' years old probably now at this point, and he can't pitch to save his life. What do you got? Hector Velasquez. He was on the Red Sox. He friggin' comes in like he's the type of guy. He's like the number 7 starter. You bring him in, he's their number
That's
2.
generous. Very generous.
Yeah,
He sucks.
He's their number 2. The only bright spots on the Orioles is like Pedro Severino at catcher. And then you got Mancini. That's it. That's all I can find on their MLB roster right now. They have
Look at that damn bullpen. They have nobody.
It's non-existent. Their number 1 bullpen guy is like Tanner Scott or Michael Givens. Michael Givens is good sometimes, but he usually sucks half the time. So let me tell you something about the Orioles. They should be ashamed of themselves to even be in the major leagues. They should get demoted to the friggin' minor leagues with this crap roster. I've seen AAA teams with a better rotation than this crap team. This team is shite. Let me tell you something. This team, if they win more than 10 games, they should be friggin' celebrating in the friggin' streets going, woo, 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 we won the World Series. No, you didn't win shit.
To be honest with you, I think they are the bottom 2 teams in the major leagues.
I think they're the bottom team in the majors.
They are terrible.
They should have the number 1 pick again next year, but they'll take a hitter, so it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. They'll take another hitter. They'll have a stacked lineup in about 5 years and not a single starter.
Yeah, it's all right. Chris Davis will hit like 160.
Yeah.
I'll call it a good year.
Generous. That's being generous. That's a big year for him, 160.
All right. So out of 60 games, how many do you see them winning?
It's baseball, so it's tough.
Because like they could just have a really good day. Because if you ask me, like I would say they're gonna lose every 60 games, but like they're playing garbage teams too. They're playing the Marlins, so
yeah. And some teams will like.
Hopefully, they're definitely gonna steal a win from. They're gonna steal maybe like 2 wins from either both Yankees and Red Sox.
Like they win 16 to 19 games.
Yeah, I would say that. I was gonna say 15 to 20.
All right, so let's do predictions now. So, last place is going to be the Orioles. Who do we got in 4th place? We'll go to Moore first.
See, this is really hard.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
I honestly think it's going to be the Blue Jays.
I think
honest.
I think the same exact thing. I just think their pitching is going to let them down, and they're just. I don't see unless they overperform. That's the only way I can see them finishing higher.
All right, 3rd place. Go to Tangway first.
This is tough. I don't know if I want to necessarily go on a limb and say this, but I'm gonna say this. I actually think the Rays finished 3rd. Not because I think that the Red Sox are better. I just think in the 60-game schedule, it may benefit the Red Sox better because their lineup is better. But I don't know. It might not. But I'll just go out and say I think it'll be extremely close between the Rays and Red Sox for 2nd and 3rd. I think it might only be a game difference. Like, it's not going to be like a big drop-off. I'm just saying, like, I think the Red Sox finish ahead of them. But I think the Rays in 3rd.
So I agree with you with the Rays at 3rd. And as I alluded to earlier, I think they're going to get to a slow start. And in a 60-game sprint, that's not something that you can afford to do. So
yeah, plus if one of their pitchers have a bad day, they're not scoring any runs to help that pitcher.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be within 4 games for the wild card spot because I mean the AL East needs to win a lot of games if they want to get a wild card spot. Yeah. It's going to be difficult because we're going to beat the shit out of each other.
All right. 2nd place. I'll assume you both got Boston.
Yeah.
And then in 1st place, the Yankees. I don't think we need to dispute that.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell mine. So I'll say mine 1st place is the Yankees. My 2nd place is Red Sox. 3rd place will be Toronto. 4th place will be Tampa Bay. 5th place would be Baltimore. I'm going on a limb. I think that Tampa Bay is going to have a bad year.
Yeah.
Because they literally have no hitting. At least the at least the Orioles, at least the Blue Jays have hitting. Even though they will strike out, they're gonna hit home runs too. So
Yeah.
well,
I think what separates the Red Sox and Blue Jays, even though I had them finishing second and fourth, is I think the Red Sox have a better lineup in terms of contact for sure, and their pitching is more figured out than the Blue Jays. And for the Rays, it's just kind of like the lineup. There's a huge difference between the Sox lineup and the Rays lineup. It's not even close, to be honest.
all right. Is that all we got for the AL East?
Yeah, that's all for that.
All right. Everybody, want to thank you for watching another episode of the Web Gems podcast. As of yesterday, we have a brand new Apple Podcast feed. So go subscribe there if you want to listen to us on the way to work, if you're working out in general. So go give that a shot.
I get a message for Joe Rogan. We're coming for you.
All right, everybody. Peace.